And I'm like, no, we are not going to the hospital because you cramping.
Hey y'all, my name is Keva.
And I'm DJ.
And this is Baby London. And we're gonna tell you a story how she was born. Okay, so it all started night of December 23rd. I started having these painful Braxton Hicks contractions, and I had texted my sister, who's an OBGYN, and I asked her if Braxton Hicks were supposed to be painful. Which is weird because this is my third kid. You think I should know what labor felt like, but my first two, my water broke and then labor happened. Okay, so I forgot where I was at. My face dry.
You man hold you. What man hold you? I tell my enemies, I pray that you don't fall. Yeah.
So I was actually in labor. My husband gets back in the car and I tell him that I'm having painful Braxton Hicks contractions, knowing that I was in labor.
And I'm like, no, we are not going to the hospital because you cramping.
So I was like, all right. So we go in the grocery store, and mind you, I'm riding a little scooter around because it's painful to walk. I should have known then and there I was in labor, but I didn't care. I was in denial. So after we were grocery shopping, I got back in the car, and I was like, okay, let's go home and see how I feel.
Nah, you was like, we need to go to the hospital right now. And I'm like, nah, we got $400 worth of groceries in this car. We got to take these groceries home first.
So we took the groceries home first, and then we go to the hospital. And when we got there, they checked me, and they were like, oh, you're only 3 centimeters, and you're like 75 your face. You're not even thinning out. And I was like, oh my God.
Hold up, before we get to that part, we just bought $400 worth of groceries. I'm starving, right? You know, when you spend that much money at the grocery store, you went hungry. And I said, hey, we got to get something to eat first. She's like, nah, I'm in pain, and I got to go now. You going to leave that part out?
I thought that was, okay, yeah, all right. But I don't remember that part. I just know I was in pain. It was very
I just know I was hungry, and this is a bad time to have a baby.
I was in pain. Okay, so did you eat? Did you get a chance to eat?
No, I didn't get a chance to eat. Got to the hospital, and I dropped you off, then I snuck away to the shop to get something to eat. But all they had was old nasty hot dogs.
Okay, and so I'm in the bed laboring, and they just would not admit me into the hospital. They just wouldn't do it. And I'm like, why? It hurts so bad. So skip a whole bunch of parts that, do you think this is funny? Do you think this is funny? Do you think this is funny? She likes it. So, we go home.
It wasn't that painful.
It was painful.
It was not that painful.
We go home, and I took Tylenol.
20 minutes after we got in the house, Keva was complaining about, I'm in pain, I can't do it. And I was like, really? I just got in the house.
So,
Trying to get something to eat.
So I was like, all right, I'm going to take a shower. While I take a shower, you get something to eat. I'm going to lay down for a little bit. I got in that shower. I felt like the baby was going to come out. Like, I just felt a whole bunch of pressure and pain. I was like, we got to go right now. And I'm not coming back home. I'm not doing it. I'm not coming home. Like, I can't. Is this accurate?
Yeah, that's accurate.
What you remember? So we went to the hospital. Just for them to tell me I was at a 3 still.
They tried to send us home again.
They did try to send us
for
home.
the second time.
And I was like, well, I'm not leaving because I'm in pain. It hurts. I feel pressure. I don't know what to do. Please just let me stay. And so let me stay. And we stayed in triage for what, 5 hours? Yep, 5 hours.
It felt like 3 days.
Yeah, it was a long time. So finally, I went to the bathroom and I got out and I called the nurse because I felt pressure. I jumped from a 3 into a 5 when they checked me. So they finally admitted me into a room. So he just took my purse and the kids into the room, and they were sticking my arm in random spots. Like, I've never got stuck in the middle of my arm before in my life.
She tried to get blood here, tried to get blood there. She tried to get blood out of my arm. I was like, look, lady, you put your hands on my wife one more time, we're going to have a problem. You got to get somebody else in here.
Yeah, I was basically crying. It hurt really bad. So they called the charge nurse, and she came in. She was very nice. She was amazing. Very nice. She got me in my arm, and she was like, all right, we got to send your blood test in so you can get epidural. At that point, my parents were coming in what, 5 hours?
Yeah, and it's Christmas Eve.
Yeah, it's Christmas Eve, so he wanted to take a nap before he had to go all the way to Frankfurt to go pick up my parents. So I'm like, okay. So I get in the shower. I literally washed half of my body, and I felt extreme pain and pressure. Like, to the point where I could not get out of the shower by myself. I had pulled that little red string to call the nurse. She came in, she's like, are you okay? And I was like, no, I cannot move. I feel pressure. I need to go lay down. Then my labor got worse. The doctor came in, and he was like, oh, you're 9 centimeters dilated. Mind you that my husband had just left to take the kids home and take a nap.
And I get a phone call as I'm turning the key in the door
of our house.
So I'm going to keep it all the way 100. This is our 3rd kid, so I'm like, do I really need to see it again? Or should I take a nap?
But even if you did turn around and come back home, you would have made it in time. In 20 minutes, I went from a 5 to a 9. By then, I was like, okay, are my blood results in? Can I get my epidural? And they were like, well, the anesthesiologist is in another room right now. We can wait, but you're laboring pretty fast. And the anesthesiologist finally came into my room to give me my epidural. And as he was making me sign the paperwork, the doctor was checking my cervix to see how far I was. I was at a 10. So the anesthesiologist was like, you can either have this epidural, which is going to work after you have the baby, or you can have the baby natural. And the doctor, he was like, your body was made to have this baby. You'll be okay. And I'm like, no, I'm not. Mind you, I am screaming. I'm not this calm. I'm screaming. Like, I'm yelling at everybody. I can't do this. So my husband's not in the room. My kids aren't in the room. My parents are not even in Germany yet. Like, I'm by myself with the medical team. And so I asked them to get the charge nurse who put the IV in my arm because her voice was soothing and she was sweet and she was just like, this there. So she comes running into the room. She holds my hand. She's like, you're going to be okay. And I just felt soothed at that point. My body is just pushing like I had to go poop. I was like, it's pushing and I can't stop it. By then, my water just broke. And that's when my body just did everything by itself. 2 pushes later, I felt her head coming out. Hands down, like, crowning is nothing. It's the contractions that hurt really bad. So I pushed through those contractions. Like, my body wouldn't stop pushing. So I was like, I can't stop. So I'm just going to keep going. After that, London came out. And she was, you know, a small, happy baby.
Yeah, she was the smallest of the 3.
She was
She was what, 6 pounds?
Yeah, she was exactly 6 pounds. Yeah. London was born December 24th, 2018. We had a Christmas Eve baby. And I tried so hard to get out of the hospital Christmas morning at 6 a.m. because she was born at 6 a.m. just so I can surprise the kids with their baby sister for Christmas. But that didn't work out. We ended up leaving Christmas evening. But it was still Christmas, so yeah. Thanks for watching our birth story. Subscribe for more videos.
Hit that like button. I tell my enemies, I pray that you don't fall.